Hey everyone, thanks for viewing. Today I want to talk to you about the power of decision making. We do this all day, every day. Sometimes we make decisions that can help us. Sometimes we even make decisions that might hurt us. Sometimes we make decisions that make sure our lives change greatly. Other times we make decisions that make sure nothing at all changes in our lives. But we do make decisions all day, every day, sometimes to the point that it can almost seem like habit or just routine, and we don't even recognize that we're making these decisions. Getting out of bed in the morning, you don't have to. Taking a shower, optional. Breakfast, which way are you going to drive to work? We make decisions constantly, all day, every day. Even not making a decision is technically a decision. You decided not to decide. So again, it's just kind of our God-given superpower that we make decisions for ourselves constantly. So what I'm going to ask you to do today is just pay attention to the sheer number of decisions you make all day. I don't want you to be self-critical or second guess yourself about your decisions. Just notice that you make a lot of decisions all day, every day, because there's a secret. The better you understand that you are making your own decisions, the bigger and better those decisions can become. The scientists talk about self-efficacy. It's just a fancy term that means that you understand that you have the power to make your own decisions. It becomes a snowball effect. The more decisions you understand that you're making, the more confident you are to make bigger and better and more complicated decisions. So it does get better and better the more you understand it. I was lucky enough to get to hang out with a physician friend of mine. He was actually one of my mentors. He has over 50 years of clinical experience and just a great, great guy. And I was hanging out with him years ago. We were seeing this patient together, and the patient basically had not done one single thing that the doctor had asked them to do the prior visit. So after that visit, we were sitting around talking, and I was kind of dumbfounded. I couldn't imagine why he wasn't more upset with that patient or more aggravated with his day in general, because that patient had not done anything he had said. And finally he said, you know what? I really just give advice. They have to decide what to do with it. And from that point forward, I kind of understood. We cannot make people do anything. People are going to do what they want when they want. Okay, so again, it is a power that we all possess, and the better you understand it, the better it gets. So there's kind of two sides to this. Number one, you got to understand it. You got to understand that power that you have. But number two, you also need to understand that starting small and building up is the best way to grow this power, basically. So what I want you to do is think about all the power you have in your decision-making process, and then find some things that might help you in health and wellness. So I'm going to give you some suggestions. This is not an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination, and hopefully you'll come up with a better idea that fits you even better than any of these suggestions. But first of all, how about eating fruits and vegetables 2 out of 3 meals a day? Not a huge decision, just I'm going to eat fruits and vegetables 2 out of my 3 meals. Not saying you have to start a big diet program, counting calories, buying special food, preparing food ahead of time, taking your lunch every single day. Not that kind of thing. Just simply, I'm going to eat fruits and vegetables 2 out of 3 meals a day. How about I'm going to drink 3 or 4 big glasses of water a day. Again, fairly simple decision. Not saying you have to stop caffeine altogether. That's a big decision. But just I'm going to drink 3 or 4 glasses of water each day. Another idea may be park further from the facility, meaning park way out in the parking lot at work and walk to your workstation. Park further away when you go to the grocery store or you're going shopping. Park at the far end of the parking lot and get those extra steps in. Again, pretty simple decision to make. Not saying you got to start a 1-hour boot camp workout 5 out of 7 days a week, anything like that. Just I'm going to park further away from the places I'm going. Pretty straightforward. Another idea might be to exercise during commercial breaks of your favorite show each evening. Not saying every show each evening, just these are my favorite shows. I pretty much watch these, and during the commercial break, march in place, partial squats, wall push-ups, whatever you can think of. Just get moving during the commercial break. Again, not starting a big workout routine, I'm just going to add this movement to my day each day. Another exercise or idea might be to go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. Sleep is a habit, and when you go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time routinely, it makes that habit better. Sleep is so important. The scientists actually, when we don't get enough sleep, the scientists talk about it and compare it to smoking. That's how very, very important it is to get sleep. Now, if you don't like that idea of going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time, how about just making your sleep space more conducive to sleep? Make it a little darker, make it a little cooler, maybe get some background noise, a fan on low, or they even make noise-making machines that can drown out extraneous noise so you get a better night's sleep. Another idea that if you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm all in favor of is deep breathing. So again, I'm going to take 10 nice big belly breaths on the way to work. I'm going to take 10 nice big diaphragmatic breaths on the way home from work. Again, very simple thing to decide to do. It's easily learned. Go back and check out some of our other videos. We talk about deep breathing all the time. You can figure this one out. Another very simple thing to try is substituting whole grains for white enriched bleached flour. Okay. Just not saying you got to eat less of anything, just don't eat the white enriched bleached flours. And this even goes to, and that would be bread, crackers, pasta mainly, but even rice. Don't eat the white rice, eat the whole grain rices. It's going to be better for you in the long run. Another idea might be to meditate. Again, this one sometimes gets people, it's like, oh, that sounds a little bit too touchy-feely for me. It's really not. It is just trying to calm yourself, slow yourself. Very easily learned. Lots of good videos out there. I do suggest to people, if you're kind of that hyper person, don't use your breath as the way to focus into meditation. It just makes you focus on other things, and it's hard to quiet your mind. Usually a short three-phase mantra type thing can bring you down into this slower state, you might say. But again, I'll probably do another video on meditation just to help, but there's tons of them out there. So learning to meditate, another very good idea. Another big one I like is learning to feel what tension feels like. We all hold tension when we're stressed, when we're working hard, when we're working kind of furiously. A lot of people hold it in their neck and shoulders, some in their low back, some people in their hips and thighs, but we all tend to tense as we're doing something or focusing or feel stressed. So learning what that sensation feels like and then learning how to let go of that can be very helpful in stress reduction. And again, tons of videos on how to basically work through the body, tensing muscles and then relaxing and noticing that difference. And you get better at it the more you do it. Another thing that has been coming up or cropping up just recently is ordering groceries online and picking them up. And the reason I say this one is because what they're finding out is when you do that, you don't wander through the bakery, you don't wander down the cookie aisle, you don't pass the ice cream in the freezer section, and you don't stand in the checkout line in front of the candy bars that are all screaming your name to pick them up. So again, you might buy fewer calories and consume fewer calories if you shop online and pick them up at the store. Just an idea. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is oxytocin. We talk a lot about stress hormones. I've done several videos on stress and stress hormones and adrenaline and cortisol, and it just ravages the body. But oxytocin is a good hormone. Okay. And there's a few ways to get that good hormone to release into your system. One way is to get a pet. Taking care of a dog, a cat, a turtle, caring for it can release oxytocin. Just simply petting your dog or cat can release oxytocin. So that's one way. Another way to release oxytocin into your system is hanging out with friends or family and talking and laughing. Laughter and talking to people you care about can release oxytocin. The final way is to hold hands, hug, or kiss your spouse or significant other. Now, I've done this talk a few times, and they always want me to emphasize your spouse or significant other. If it's somebody else's spouse or significant other, those stress hormones might start catching up to you. So your spouse or significant other. But again, go home tonight, hug, kiss your spouse, your significant other, and you both will reap the benefit of the oxytocin. So I hope you make a simple decision real soon.